Jet Rose for Times-Picayune and NOLA.com at Doyle High School with softball coach Amanda Decell, our All-Baton Rouge area small schools coach of the year, softball coach of the year. Doyle had a fantastic softball season, the best they've had in a few years. The highest seed that y'all have had in a few years, the highest seed ever, I guess, reaching the second round and kind of knocking on the door of getting to Sulphur in the state tournament. Looking at this year, how special of a year was it to get to those points?
It was huge for the girls, and for me, my first year here, I had 7th and 8th graders starting. My whole field was covered with 7th and 8th graders, and there was a lot of teaching involved. It was a huge learning year for the girls, for me. There was a lot of times I had to take steps back. I thought we were at a certain point, and I had to start over and reteach, take steps back. I also came in with a lot of rules and expectations for the girls that they weren't used to. So it took a year for them to adjust to me. The second year was a little better, and this year it just really all came together. Everything that I've been teaching, everything that we've been going over, just all came together this year. And now instead of 7th and 8th graders, I have freshmen and sophomores who are playing like upperclassmen because they've been out there for 3 years. So a lot of maturity this year, and they see that what we're doing is working, and they really buy into what I'm doing. So it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because y'all still had a pretty young group of girls out there, but I guess with them starting as early as they did a couple years ago, kind of experience beyond their years sort of situation.
Right. Yeah, my pitcher, she's been pitching for me since she's at 7th grade, and she's in 9th grade now. My entire outfield is sophomores, but they've been out there since 8th grade, so they're playing like juniors and seniors, and a lot of maturity this year. That was the biggest thing for us, so that's been great.
Do you remember times where it got frustrating? Maybe you mentioned you would have to take a step back, just different aspects or points along the way where you kind of look back and say, okay, that was an obstacle we overcame, and that was a challenge that we kind of got through. And I guess could you talk a little bit more about that and how that worked out?
Yeah, well, in my first year, just having different types of bunt defenses. That blew their mind. I know there's not one way to do it. There's more than one. I'm like, yeah, you could do it different ways. That was one thing. A lot of signals that I had for them offensively, they didn't know what it was. I'm telling them we want to squeeze bunt. Well, what's a squeeze bunt? It's just a lot of things that I assumed they knew that they didn't. So I had to take 2 steps back, and I like to explain to them why we do this or what's the purpose of it. So, basically that was the whole first year, was explaining to them why we do this, getting them to understand the game, because they had a lot of talent. They were good ball players, but they didn't understand the game. They didn't understand why you do certain things in certain scenarios, and it was, but this year they really got it, and I could tell that because I have sophomores telling 8th graders, this is why we're doing it. You got to do it this way. She wants it done this way, and this is why we got to do it. And that is a lot easier on me this year. A lot easier.
How rewarding was some of that to see when you see some of the sophomores start talking to 8th graders or anything like that you saw this year?
Oh, it's really rewarding. It really makes me feel like we're going in the right direction, and that what I'm doing is helping these girls. Like I said, it makes it a lot easier on me. I'm not telling everybody this all the time. I have sophomores helping me out, telling the younger girls, this is what she wants, this is what she expects. Don't walk on the field. She'll yell at you. Don't come show up to practice late. Just stuff like that. It means the program is building, and that means a lot.
And that's, as I like to ask, if there was a noticeable turning point or a game or a talk or a practice or just a stretch where you start to realize that things are clicking. Was that the biggest, I guess, indication to you that things were headed the right way, was just seeing some of those conversations that they started to have, or some of the progress they made or ownership that the now sophomores were making?
There was 2 games in particular that really, I think, sank in. When we beat Albany and when we beat Springfield, those are 2 teams that we have not been able to beat the past 2 years, and this year we were able to beat Albany twice, and we finally beat Springfield in 12 innings, but we did it. But when they did that, it really clicked, like, we're getting better, we're improving, we're a lot better than we used to be. So.
how exciting was, and obviously especially in softball, the playoffs happened so quickly, but for that week of 2 games, how excited were the girls, particularly getting that win and having a chance to host a second round game against a team like Manny that's been to the tournament the last few years? How excited were the girls, the school, any group of the community, I guess?
They were very excited. Our goal this year and the past 3 years, I guess, was to be in the top 15 so we could get a first round playoff game. And not only did they do that, but they got 2 home playoff games, so they exceeded what they were working for, and they were really excited about that. That was one of the things we talked about before playoffs even started, was how they not only met their goal, but they exceeded it. And now their goal is to get to the state tournament. We're taking steps forward, and they see that, and they're really excited about it.
So yeah, that's what I like to, I guess, close on, is usually looking a little bit at the future. And with as young as y'all were this year and the progress y'all made, how bright is the future, particularly when you look at the success of this year and maybe some of the additional lessons learned during the course of this year and whatnot? How excited is this group for the next couple of years to come, at least?
That's really the first thing they said after we lost the second round was, we're excited for next year, we're ready for next year, because and that's what I preach, is taking steps forward. We're going to take steps forward, and that's what I think we're going to do. We have a lot of sophomores. We have 5 sophomores. My shortstop is an 8th grader. Pitcher's going to be a 10th grader. So I only see it getting better. I only see it getting better from here, and that's where I want the program to be. I want us to be able to get to the state tournament, or have a chance to get to the state tournament every year. I want to start teaching them when they're in 7th grade and have a program built that we have a chance to get to the state tournament every year. So we're almost there. We're close, but we're going to keep moving forward.
There you go. Coach Decell at Doyle High School, our All-Baton Rouge area small school softball coach of the year. For NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, Jared Roser.